Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to another episode of Robot Rumble 2. In today's episode, we are going to be doing a robot that I have had in the backworks for a while now. I saw a comment left a couple of episodes ago actually. I fell in love with this idea. Now, I have never, let me just put this out real quick. I have never made a robot anything like this before. I say this every episode. I'm gonna keep saying it, and it's probably gonna get super annoying, but I don't care. It's the truth, and I want to be honest with everybody. I am not going to be making a good robot, and by good I mean powerful, like a robot that's going to win every single fight. But that's not what I'm about. I'm all about making a robot that looks pretty good, but also has its own unique kind of style. So with all that being said, let's jump into the robot workshop and start working on this new robot. So we are here in the robot lab, and the comment that was left was by, and I hope I say this correctly, I'm probably going to mess this name up. Their name is Ermi Godoy Godoy. They write, "Hey, I have a robot idea for you. Make a drum spinner. I think you haven't done one yet. If you can make an angular wheels like Lockjaw, I'll be happy." I have never done a slanted wheel, so I'm very curious how this robot's going to perform, especially when driving, but I guess that's the fun of this robot. Now, Lockjaw is one of the coolest robots in BattleBots. It's actually kind of a frontier of the sport. Lockjaw has been in Robot Combatics for a long time. The driver is probably one of my favorite drivers in all of Robotic Combat, so I'm very excited to make a robot similar to it, although I'm not going to be doing what Lockjaw was previously designed for, meaning they had kind of like a grapple situation. I'm going to be doing vertical spinners in this robot. Now, one thing that I have not done in this game yet is a drum spinner, so I'm kind of excited to mess around with the drum spinner, and I guess we're just gonna create the chassis and see how this robot comes out. Now, you guys are going to be looking at this chassis and going, wow, you could not have done such a bad chassis design. I have a plan. I actually drew out on a piece of paper. I was so inspired by this comment that I drew out my concept on a piece of paper. I'll put up the picture right now, actually. As you can see, I'm bad at drawing, first of all, but my plan is to make the vertical spinner right here, the vertical drum, and I'm gonna kind of push it out a little bit, and we're gonna experiment with custom shapes a little more with this robot. I have a good idea for what I want to do, but obviously things are going to change, especially with these wheels. I'm kind of concerned about them just a little bit. I'm going to mess a little more with the chassis actually, just to see if I can get the exact shape I want. Yeah, I'll get back to you once we get the proper shape. I kind of got what I want here. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to play out, but I got the angles where I want the wheels to kind of go down. I don't have a picture of Lockjaw up currently, but I believe the wheels start from the outside and go inwards. I believe that's what's going to happen, and if Lockjaw doesn't do that, if they start out on the outside and go in from the bottom up, then I'm committing to this design, and I'm going to hope that it comes out well. So first thing that we're going to do is place the wheels because they're so weird. So let's do the wheels first, get the motion in and everything like that, and then we're going to do the weapon somewhat last. So I have been working a little bit on this robot, and I think I got what I wanted. Now, I ran into a few problems, as per usual, with what I was planning on doing originally. I love these gearboxes because you can set the ratio. So let's just say the robot isn't fast enough. It'll go faster if you set this higher number, essentially. So my problem that I ran into is this clips through the top now. So I might have to manually, so I get rid of the top layer, and I can now set my own custom top of the robot now. Now, I was kind of looking, and I was hoping that this, if I flatlined it straight across, that the robot would still operate if it gets flipped over. And I think it can, but I'm not sure yet. But I think I got exactly what I wanted with the angles and everything. I think the size of the wheels is good. I'm definitely going to have a protective plate surrounding these wheels just because I think we need that, especially with wheels this big that are on the outside of the robot. But now I really want to work on the spinning disc. Sorry, I keep saying disc. The drum spinner now, which is going to be placed up here, and I have to figure out exactly where I want it, and I'm definitely going to have to throw down I'm thinking to do a pancake. A pancake is probably the best option for this, and I might just, ooh, it's kind of big actually. I'm gonna do something. So in the previous episode, VZ the bot. Let me just give VZ the bot a huge shout out. Every time I upload a video, VZ the bot is throwing down some awesome information about the mechanics of this video game, about all these crazy numbers. He's sending links, and it's amazing. I really appreciate what you're doing, VZ. And let me just tell you something also real quick. I'm stupid. I don't know anything of what you're sending me right now. I'm not good enough yet to understand all this, but they sent me a link of all the motors and all of the ESCs all combined together and what their max volts and max amps and their wattage and power and all of that is. So with that being said, I'm looking at the list right now, and obviously a pancake is towards the top. If you hook up a pancake with a solenoid, it's the second best spinner. But obviously the pancake is too big for this robot. So what we're going to do is use the next one in line, which is going to be the Ampflow 28400 hooked up with a solenoid. So the 28400, which is this bad boy right here, and I'm thinking about hooking it up to a gearbox. No, I'm just gonna hook it up to a transmission. I think that's the best call. So I'm gonna hook this up to a transmission belt, and we're gonna see how this really comes out. Okay, I think I got it set up how I wanted to. So I got the belts pretty small over here. And I know there's physics with this game. I don't know them yet. But if you guys are knowledgeable, I'm looking at you, VZ, right now. I'm looking at you. If you guys know what the best type of belt transmission is, like if one size being smaller than the other, if it's better, then I'm definitely going to be doing that, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what's more efficient, if they're both the same size or if one's bigger than the other, if you get more RPM through one side. I think I'm doing it the right way because I think that makes sense just based off of real life physics. So I'm gonna continue with this, and we're going to make a custom, yes, say it again, a custom drum spinner. I have not made a custom weapon in a long time, and I'm very excited. So let's jump into the custom weapon of the drum spinner. So for the drum spinner, I'm just going to be adding a cylinder, which is this shape right here. And we're going to extend this out to pretty much just make it symmetrical with everything. Now I think that looks pretty good. I think the size is going to be okay. I'm definitely adding wedges, so don't worry about that. And I think we're going to have to get rid of that front plate as well, just for now. Yeah, I think that looks good. We're going to have a little bit of an exposed area on this side, but I think we can work with that. I'm going to probably add a belt cover just so if a robot hits this, the whole weapon won't fly off. But from here, all we did was added a cylinder. I like this size for now. I'm obviously going to edit it in the future. Making it Hardox just because Hardox is the toughest material in this game. And if any of you guys know the best type of material, please let me know because I have no idea. I believe just based off of knowledge from playing this game for a couple of weeks now, I think that Hardox is the best type of material. I kind of want to make I don't even know how to explain it. I want to make this. This is going to be the type of weapon that I'm going to be going for. Perfect. So this is the weapon that's going to be attached. This is going to be the main weapon, might I add, on this drum spinner. So I'm going to scale this down just because I don't want it to be huge when I place it down. And let's throw it in. Now I forgot that the cylinder curves. So I ran into another problem right here where this tail right here is not going to be connected. Easy fix though, we can add another shape that'll pretty much make it connect. I don't like it actually. Okay, I think I got the shape that I wanted actually. I had to rework on the style of weapon that I had, but I think I got it. I have the curvature that I actually want in the end, and I think it's going to work. My only concern right now is that this will collide down here, so that means I'm going to have some sort of wedge that'll kind of push up the front of the robot so it doesn't make those weird type of connections. But what I'm going to be doing now is add the second type of weapon, which is going to be the secondary hit, which will be on the other side of this drum, which essentially, while this one isn't in front of the robot, let's just say this whole drum spinner is spinning, and this one is towards the back, the other two can make contact and still cause damage, but not being the primary weapon on the drum. Okay, I think I got it all. I added the two little wedgelets, so let's jump into this right here, this camera. So I got the first main weapon to swing right there, and then the second two little ones to swing while this one is towards the back. I think that's going to be a decent setup. I'm not exactly sure yet. I like the color scheme that I'm going for. By the way, I haven't mentioned what type of theme I'm going for. I'm going for kind of a Grim Reaper style robot, where not Grim Reaper, but death. I'm going for death, kind of like, I don't know, like something out of a scary movie, you know? I want this robot to be scary because the wheels are kind of like scary looking from, I don't know, this robot just looks weird to me. So it kind of scares me, but I think we got the weapons, so I'm gonna set everything up and hope that it all works out how I think it is. We're in the test box, and the robot is performing just as I thought. It's not perfect yet. As you can see, it's very front heavy. I actually set everything in the drum spinner to 10 thickness. So it's not the best. Obviously right now it's not even close to complete, but it's looking pretty good so far. It has nice drive. The wheels are working better than I thought they would, honestly. They're much better than I thought they would be. Now, I really want to add wedges to this robot to make sure it can get underneath opposing robots. And the only way that I know how to do this is my plan so far. Let me just run you through my plan before I actually start it. Is to make this part flat, so even with the actual drum spinner. And we're going to add wedges that are going to start here, that are going to be on the, what are they called? The hinges, the 90-degree hinges. So these are essentially going to be right here facing straight towards us right now. Essentially, when the robot will get flipped, wherever that wedge is going to be flipped. So if the robot gets flipped over, the wedge will go towards the bottom of the floor no matter where this robot is going to be flipped. So that's my plan so far. I don't know how it's really going to work. So I got the cube down essentially. I'm just going to be adding a cube right here. I kind of blended it through the other side so it has more thickness to it. I want it to have a lot of health because this is going to be probably one of the most important parts of this robot. So I extended it out to pretty much right where this belt center is, and I'm going to be adding the hinges right here, kind of something like that, and I'll hide this out part right here, and I think that's going to be fine. I actually bring it in a little more, kind of right there. I think that's going to look fine. So we're going to add a wedge that's going to pretty much be flat. It's going to be straight out pretty much. But when the robot flips, this will rotate wherever the robot is. So let me add the wedge so it makes more sense because I'm really bad at explaining this. So I got the wedge down. This is my kind of design that I want to go for this robot. I want this robot to be very spiky, very pointy, and just everything about it. I want it to be kind of, I don't know how to best explain it, but kind of out there, you know? Yeah, this is what I want to go for. So this is what the robot is going to be very pokey. So let me just make this the dark blue that I want to go for, and watch as I spawn this robot in. The wedge will be facing down now, which I really like. And then when I flip the robot, it'll also be facing down, even though the robot is flipped. But because I added those 90-degree hinges, these are very flexible, as you can see them bouncing around. So that's the plan that I'm going to go for, and I need a bottom wedge. I need a wedge that's going to be under here, that's going to be stationary. I kind of got a little carried away here, and I'm not in love yet, but I'm going to be doing tweaks along the way. It's essentially what I did was made this robot so it can drive and spin its weapon and drive inverted. Now I'm noticing there is a few problems so far, which is it's very top heavy, meaning the front of the robot is like very just that's where all the weight is. Now I do have a plan with the back of the robot that I'm going to just add a little design to it, and then the top of the robot is also just nothing right now. So we're going to be focusing on that soon, and hopefully it can come out pretty good, but we'll see. We'll see how it all comes out. This is the butt that I was planning on, and I just wanted this to kind of be a counterweight. I'm probably just going to make that black actually. And essentially, oh gosh, my plan with it is so when it drives, it has some weight in the back, and it adds a decent shape to it as well. It still seems very heavy, so what we can do is just make the material thicker. So I'm going to set that to 10, and it's spawning very weird, I'm noticing. I don't know if that has anything. Why is it doing that? That's so weird. It seems like it's kind of fixing itself, though. But the next part that I want to do for this robot is actually add some wheel covers, and I'm going to have a glass pane that goes on top of this, and I have a cool design for it. So I'm going to do that soon, but for now I want to add wheel coverage because it'll keep the robot down. That's all I really care about, keeping the robot flat. Ooh, this turned into something that I did not really anticipate. It's hard to tell all the colors just because it's all black for now, but I made the wheel guards, and they're they're a little wonky. They're not the prettiest. I had a problem because I wanted them to be a specific design, like a specific shape, but I couldn't really connect them, so I had to make like my own custom shape connector, which didn't really turn out how I hoped, as you can see right here. And this is a work in progress, obviously. This isn't the final project. A big concern that I'm having right now with this robot is it has a very short reach, and I don't think these forks are what I want, essentially. I like the concept of the forks, but watch when I try to hit, it just nothing really happens. I want to add the top part just so it looks like a somewhat finalized robot, and then I'll be making tweaks later. But the first thing that I want to do is add the little glass cover. So I'm going to make the custom shape for it real quick, and we'll add it. So with the work that I did off camera, it wasn't a whole lot. I kind of just finished off this outer rim, kind of make it look a little clean. And then I just added a little plate right here to protect. There was an open spot that was kind of showing, but I fixed all of that, and I think this robot is essentially complete. Actually, I take it back. We need to do one more thing. We need to add nuts and bolts to this robot. Am I right? We need nuts and bolts. We need nuts and bolts. Where are the nuts and bolts? Give me the nuts and bolts. Where are they? So for the nuts and bolts, I've been kind of thinking, I want these nuts and bolts to especially be a certain color. And I've been thinking, I kind of want it to be this midnight blue. Yeah, I think that's going to look real good. Okay, so I'm going to start adding nuts and bolts to everything. And let's get to it. A nut and bolt right there. This corner definitely needs a nut and bolt. Probably a nut and bolt right there. Man, we lacking on the nuts and bolts today. We need to add more nuts and bolts. A nut and bolt right there. Going to definitely a nut and bolt right there. A nut and bolt right here. This is definitely nut and bolt potential. I think somebody ordered a nut and bolt in this area. Nut and bolt. We need a nut and bolt right here. And a nut and bolt right here. Nut and bolt in the back. Nut and bolt right here. Nut and bolt. We're adding a nut and bolt right here and changing it. That's right, changing it to black, and add another one of them right here. We added all the nuts and bolts that I think would look good. I named this robot Wraith, by the way. I have another YouTube channel, and there's a game called Phasmophobia. Absolutely love that game. It's a ghost video game where you're kind of playing ghost hunters or ghost adventures. And my favorite type of ghost is a wraith. So I decided that this is going to be called Wraith. So in the previous episode, Uncut Type Error left a comment. And they wrote, why not have a couple of clips in each episode having a bot you made fight against each other so that we can see how hard the weapons actually hit? Now, I love this idea, and I have actually been testing a little bit on creating a arena. And I think this arena is somewhat complete. I don't have any hazards in it yet, but we're going to run this guy through a couple of the first robots that we created in this entire channel, and we're just going to put him up against it. It's not going to be like a ranked match or anything, so this is kind of just like a scrimmage. So I'm going to hook everything up, and we're going to see how hard this robot truly hits. So I have the robots plugged in, and it's going to be Wraith versus Pack-a-Punch. I have them both set to AI, and I actually hooked up the AI that was left in the Robot Rumble 2 Discord. If you haven't joined it, join it. It's a really awesome Discord channel and a lot of helpful people on it. They've been helping me create an arena and all this stuff, so very awesome people. Check it out if you get a chance. It's on their website and all this stuff. It's actually in the game as well. So with that being said, we're going to check out my arena. No judging yet. It's still a work in progress. I'm trying to make this a really, really nice arena. So let's jump into it. Okay, so here we are. We're in the Robomania arena right here, and like I said, working project. No judgment yet. It's gonna be worked on. I still have to fix the lightings and the backgrounds and everything, but this is what it is so far, and we're gonna watch Wraith versus Pack-a-Punch in this first fight. So let's jump into it. I got 3 cameras set up, and let's do it. So, Wraith hits pretty good. Wraith actually is hitting and dominating. Flips itself, though. So I'm not sure. Pack-a-Punch is already flipped on its back, but a lot of damage being done by Wraith, which I really like. That weapon is actually surprisingly really good. And it's hitting some hard hits, actually. It did just get wedged up a little bit, but I don't know. It's performing much better. I don't think Pack-a-Punch is really the best robot, especially since it was like one of my first robots I created. Ooh, a good counter though by Pack-a-Punch, actually. Flipping Wraith over. Wraith is invertible, so it can still work, but the spinner is going the opposite way, so it won't be as dangerous, and it'll actually almost flip itself back over. Coming down to about 2 minutes left in the fight, and it's kind of a back and forth. I don't know. Kind of an interesting thing going on. Wraith starts controlling this fight right here. It's actually very back and forth. Wraith has that powerful punch that I like. Pack-a-Punch isn't really packing a punch anymore. I might have to work on that robot a little bit. There's no health bars or anything. Ooh, one of the wedges comes off of Pack-a-Punch. It's serious. Blows back and forth from like, they almost seem like 2 power shots, but I don't know. It's a pretty back and forth fight right now. Pack-a-Punch gets flipped on his back. It's not invertible, and I don't think it has a streamic, so I guess, I don't know. It's getting flipped up and down. Pack-a-Punch doesn't really know what's happening, to be honest. Pretty much every single one of the sides of Pack-a-Punch is exposed, by the way. I didn't add a single wedge besides the 2 front ones. Ooh, the glass part comes off of Wraith right there as it gets flipped upside down. A very back and forth fight. Very, very good. I love when fights are back and forth in this game, especially when I'm not controlling them. I think the AI in this game is actually fantastic, might I add. Very smart AI when it comes to robotic fighting, because you can actually control what the robots do when the other robot is losing and all that stuff. It seems like Wraith is stuck somehow. Nope, still moving. I don't know. Pack-a-Punch is getting counted out. Oh, it got out of it. It got out of it. With 3 seconds left, it'll go to a decision. I think, honestly, Wraith won that fight. But who knows? Who knows? So I hope you guys enjoyed that little fight that I'm going to be starting to do in my episodes. Just let me know what you guys would want to see. Eventually I'm going to be starting an actual robotic tournament, which would almost be like a full competition, everything like that, with everybody's users robots. So Nothing yet, nothing official yet, but it is definitely going to be something. That's what this channel is actually purposely created for, not just robotic building, but also hosting competitions between everybody's robots. So with that being said, I hope you guys truly enjoyed this episode. It was a very much different one. I really like this robot. It's a very powerful hitter, especially with this custom drum that we built. It's very nice. And we finally got the alternating wheels, or the sideways wheels. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, week, weekend, whatever you guys may want to call it. If you have any ideas of robots, write them in the comments below. I would love to see what you guys have to think, especially about this robot. But anyways, that'll be it. I hope you guys have a great time. And with that being said, have a good one.